lovelies. So today I'm going to show you how to make cheesecake with a bit of a twist, a Middle Eastern twist. So this is a recipe that I did once, like 4 years ago, and I just thought that I would show you how I did it. It's got the floral flavors of rose water and orange blossom. So if you like these flavors, you're gonna really like this cheesecake. So let me show you how we're gonna do the crust. So the crust is a little bit different than the graham cracker crust. So we are gonna use something that looks like this. And this is called kunafa. So you will find it in the Middle Eastern shops, and this is kind of what it looks like. What is it made out of? It's just some kind of wheat. And so kind of looks like this. It comes frozen, really flaky, super crunchy. So yum, yum, yum. So it's kind of like a shredded dough. And I should have checked what's in it. Yeah, it's just like flour, water, some oil. Okay, so I've got my dough here. I kind of shredded it just a little bit. So I have 200 grams of dough of kunafa. So you can see kunafa dough. And I'm gonna add to it 100 grams of butter or ghee. I'm using butter because I don't know where to get ghee from. So as you can see, it's like super shreddy. And this gets golden and really, really, really crunchy. So if you really want to soak it up with all of this butter, and then I have my pan, and I'm gonna put my layer. And then we're gonna bake this for about 15 minutes at 350. Until it's nice and golden in color. And you want to pack it, like pack this really, really well. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I'm gonna put it in the oven 15 minutes and we're gonna start on our cheesecake filling. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you how to do the filling. So we're gonna start with our cream cheese. Let me make sure this, there we go. So cream cheese, we've got 930 grams of cream cheese that's going in here. Actually, you know what, I'm gonna do this so it doesn't get super disgusting. Okay, so I've got 930 grams of cream cheese, and I'm gonna whip it, and then I'm gonna add 215 grams of just granulated sugar. Then I'm gonna add 38 grams of cornstarch. Then I'm gonna add 260 grams of eggs, which were kind of the equivalent of 5 eggs. The eggs that I used were really large. And then I'm gonna add 120 grams of cream. So my cornstarch. My eggs one at a time. So it's basically done now, and I'm gonna show you how the crust looks like. So there's a reason why I have it in a pan. Well, let me show you, it's still a bit hot. So you can see it's like nice and crusty now, like really, really crispy. Now we're gonna add our cream cheese into our cheesecake pan. The middle. There we go. Ooh. I'm always very aggressive with my mixer. Okay. Okay, pour it all in here. So I'm using about, I think this is like a 12-inch pan. Okay, so you can see how much I've put. Now all I'm gonna do is put it in my oven at 230 degrees. So lower your oven temperature to 230, and you're gonna bake it nice and slow for about 70 minutes to 80 minutes. And you're gonna add a little bit of water in here so it creates some steam. This will help, hopefully, no cracking. But if there's any cracking, you just hide it with some whipping cream and you're all good to go. So, okay. So I'm gonna do one more thing before I pop it in the oven, is I'm gonna add some rose jam. Again, you can get these from any Middle Eastern store. So I'm just gonna do a few dollops. Think of it as when you buy like a raspberry cheesecake. They always have like some jam in the middle. I love floral flavors, so if you're like me, you're gonna love this cheesecake. And it's really easy to make. And you can wow your guests. Okay. So now I just wanted to show you how I've added some hot water to my, I don't know, Pyrex. And it's cooking at 230 degrees. And we're gonna cook it for about 70 to 80 minutes. Okay, so now we're gonna do the last step of the cheesecake, which is the syrup, the yummy, sticky, sugary stuff. So my cheesecake is baking, and now I'm gonna make my syrup. It's very similar to a simple syrup, but with just a little bit of jazz. Okay, so I have 500 grams of sugar, 300 grams of water, a tablespoon of lemon, and I've also added the zest of the lemon. And you want to bring this to a boil. It'll take a few minutes. So now do not touch your syrup or it will crystallize. So just leave it alone. Now it's gonna start bubbling and doing lovely things. When it starts boiling, just crank it down to a medium and then just let it cook for about 10 minutes. Set a timer, do not cook it over 10 minutes or it's gonna get really thick. You want it to be like a pancake, what is it called? Like a pancake syrup, like maple, that consistency. Now, I usually like to add some extra spices to my simple syrup. Usually they don't, they just add rose water and orange blossom, but I like spices. So here I have, what do I have? I have a little bit of clove. I'm just gonna add a handful. I have, what do I have here? Cardamom. You can add a cinnamon stick in here. And I'm gonna add some nutmeg. By all means, this is just a little extra thing that I like in this cheesecake. And I love nutmeg. Okay. Okay, so it's starting to boil. Just let it do its thing. Do not even think of touching it. So hopefully you can see. So as soon as it starts boiling, which it's starting to boil around the edges, I'm just going to give it a few more minutes. Now I'm going to let it simmer down. Just going to let it. So now it's vigorously boiling. Now, go all the way to low. Set your timer 10 minutes. And that is when we will add our rose water, a dash of rose water and a dash of orange blossom. That's where you're gonna get the floral flavor. That's what makes it Middle Eastern. Okay. Okay, so my syrup has been cooking for about 10 minutes on low. So it's still bubbling. So now I'm gonna add like a dash. So I want to say a tablespoon. Don't overdo it because then it will get bitter. So just a dash. This is my rose water. And switch off. Let it cool. And then you can let it cool a little bit and then you can strain all the spices. If you opted for no spices, then you don't even need to strain anything. But I'm gonna leave my spices for a little bit more so that the flavor even intensifies even more. And then I'm just gonna strain it. You can just put it in a jar, close it in the fridge. It will last forever. So you can add it to like ice cream or cheesecake that we're making, or even if you're just having like a parfait and you just want to add some syrup to it and sweeten it, that's a nice option. So, okay, still waiting on that cheesecake.